gonna play a game. This could be interesting anthropologically. If you were to say like a few word associations, like with London.
Ooh. Public transport in London is very good. Things that are very bad, I would say traffic is bad. Otherwise, it's kind of home for me, so it's really hard to say bad things about your home.
Okay, you have any bad things to say about your home?
I don't know.
I'll come back to you. Miss?
I can't think of bad things to say about.
You can't think of a single bad thing to say about London.
I'll work. It's a great place to be. It's so cosmopolitan. There is so much choice. So whatever you feel like, you can just make possible. So it's a city of possibilities, whether you choose to take them up or not. Having been to a lot of places around the world, I'm now even more probably, as I get older, more pro my own home, I suppose.
You've chosen London as your home, Benedict.
I did, yes. I think for me, London is a love-hate relationship. I think it all depends on the state of mind in which you are. When you're there for too long, you need to get out, and when you're out for too long, you miss it, so you want to come back. So that's my story with London.
I think what I like is you can be anonymous or not. You can be lost in London, and if you want to be, or you can be very connected in London if you want to be.
My good woman.
Well, I grew up in London, so again, as Marek says, it's difficult to be negative about your home. The public transport is great, but sometimes it's not. So, trying to get from one end of London to the other can take 2 hours, and then you think, really, I'm in the same city? The wonderful thing about it, picking up what Lisa said about possibilities, I love the whole cultural side of London. The theatre, the museums, the exhibitions. You can do anything you want. There's always something going on. It doesn't have to be, the fancy stuff. There's everything you could want, and it's so. I love living in London. And the other thing about London is I always think when I walk down the streets, look up. When you live in a city, you're going from A to B, but actually there's so much of London architecture. You're walking along the street thinking, I just want to get to work or the shops, but actually if you just stop and look up, you've got some of the most beautiful architecture above you.
Wrapping us up.
Okay, so I also chose London as my home. I was brought up in South Wales, which is very quiet and very narrow. But I love about London, like Lisa, the cosmopolitan element of it. And the other thing I love about London is it's not a city, it's a series of small villages. You can live in your neighbourhood and know people around you and people in shops and restaurants and things like that and feel very belonging. And then you can walk to another neighbourhood and it's quite different in the look and feel, the type of people, the style. It's very diverse, it's very varied. There's something for everyone and there's a place for everyone. I think the tolerance in London is probably not superb, but it's a lot better than a lot of places. I think all those things are really good about London.
Like when people talk about Americans, are people interested in American politics? Do they make fun of us? We're very make funnable. So are y'all, by the way.
I think it's hard because I think our politics is a bit laughable. So we probably laugh at you, but you probably must laugh at us as well. So,
a colleague from a company in Idaho.
You slept with a colleague from a company in Idaho?
I sat with.
You sat with?
I'm not going into whether I slept with.
Okay.
That's Judy's husband, I think.
Okay, I see.
I had lunch. I had lunch with a guy. It was just after the first elections when Trump got elected. And he said to me, do you think we're a load of bozos for voting for Trump? And I said, I really can't comment because we've just voted for Brexit. It just shows how wild things are right across the Atlantic now.
My last request is, can I do my British accent in front of you?
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
One of you has to film me though. Will you do it? It's probably a hodgepodge of a bunch of things and probably some things that don't exist. Okay, so like a lot of people really love speaking in like a British accent because you can say like all the time and like you don't have to really finish the word like, like you can just say it like that. I don't know, it's just really funny if you just want to like say a bit of sarcasm, like sprinkle a little bit like of sarcasm on like what you're saying, even though what you're saying isn't even really funny at all. I think a lot of it is influenced by Love Island. My sister watches it, never me though. Love Island, you're familiar? They do like this art, they say yeah, and they kind of have like a stinky face all the time. I don't know, actually, really. It's just kind of funny. If you heard this, are you like, that's an American trying to be British?
Occasionally you go a bit northern.
Occasionally I go a bit northern. Oh, fascinating. Nobody really says like pip pip cheerio though.
Other than in Mary Poppins.
You say it?
I say Cheerio. Yeah.
You know, cheerio's kind of lovely. I might start saying it. Oh my gosh, you've all been so lovely.
Okay, it's nice to meet you.
It's,
Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Good luck with your research.
Absolutely, absolutely. Cheerio, mates.
Bye, Lola.
Bye bye.
The other day to the other girls.
About you complaining?
Yes, how bad I am at complaining.
Okay.
And we met up with some old school friends, and one of them is clearly very, very good at complaining, Teresa. And she said, I said, well, I'm not very good at complaining. I had really bad service in a restaurant once, and I was with Rebecca, my sister, and we asked to speak to the manager, and he came over and I told him what had happened, and he went, oh no, that's awful, and just walked off. My only other experience of complaining was I took my goddaughter and her boyfriend to Smokestack, which is uber trendy sort of Shoreditch restaurant in London. It's so dark you can't see what you're eating, but they only allow you to have the table for 2 hours, and I just ordered another bottle of wine and would order desserts, and they said they needed the table back, and I said, well, where are we supposed to go? He said, oh, I found you a table in the bar downstairs. We went down there and the table was literally outside the men's urinals. So I said to the guy, I said, this is my goddaughter. She can't eat desserts standing outside a men's urinal. He looked her up and down and he said, she'll be fine. So I've given up complaining.
Those were your only 2 times complaining?
Yeah, in restaurants.
I see. Okay.